Well, hello everyone. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. How y'all doing? Monday night, start of the week, TGIM. I hope you're excited as I am to be here. Should be a lot of fun for the next 2 hours. Thanks everyone for hanging out before the stream. I was reading everyone's chat, but I was kind of not paying attention. Kind of reading, kind of not paying attention. So welcome everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button before we start. We're going to be talking about community aquariums for at least the first hour, and then hopefully we can make it an hour before we get too off topic. So, you know, don't forget to like and share and all that stuff. If you have somewhere to share, I would appreciate it. And we have Echo. Where would we be getting Echo from? Man, this happened last week too. Let me look up here. No echo there. Oh boy. This is how we started last week. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. No echo. Audio is good. I did turn it down a little bit. So maybe that was it. No echo here. Thank you, Shauna. No echo, no echo. Joel, it just might be you that's echoing. I don't have any audio issues. Audio is Gucci free, Joe Exotic. What's going on? I have this new monitor like way up here. It's very annoying. And then I have one down here, up here, and then the camera's here. And there's one over here. And I should always be looking here, but I got to read the chat. A little quiet, but no echo. Well, I turned it back up. I'm not touching it the rest of the stream. So it's good. It's good. Like I said, we're talking community aquariums today. So sorry, my bad. It was a bird humming in the background. So you're saying I sound like a hummingbird. All right. John says, get your gas now. Prices will be up tomorrow. I'm guessing, not to get too off topic. Y'all already got me off topic. I think we're gonna hit $5 by summer, at least in my state. We'll see. We'll see. But anyways, we're not talking gas. We're talking fish. Why I notified this? I'm not subbed to you or watched any of your videos. I have a pond though. I'm freaking out, kind of. Well, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Multi-monitor syndrome. I'm in Arizona. I'm not used to those birds in the background. That's true, buddy. I forgot you're traveling. So anyways, we're going to give it a few more minutes to let people just kind of join in. Can turn up it. I could turn it up, but everyone else says the audio is fine. So I don't know. Maybe the mic's not faced the right way, but... Emily says, I'm debating changing my 90 community aquarium to fancy goldfish aquarium. Well, why would you do that? Why? I mean, goldfish are pretty cool, I guess. Volume low. Okay, if everyone says volume low, then we'll crank it up a little. All right. Not too much, though. Not too much. I had to put headphones on. Oh, gosh, not this again. All right. All right, volume is all the way up. All the way up. So I don't know what to tell you. Sasquatch located wears sweatshirt. Yes, Sasquatch research team. Research team. You can turn it up a few notches because you are low. All right, all right. Well, now I got to wait 5 minutes for the delay to see if it's any better. So is it better now? Well, I guess, you know, we got to wait a couple minutes to get people in here anyway, so. I'm debating the change because goldfish are so interactive and dumb and cute. I will give you that. They are dumb, cute, and interactive. It is kind of fun to watch them fancy goldfish. I don't think common goldfish are that great, but definitely fancy goldfish. It's fun to watch them swimming around and upside down and doing loop-de-loops and things like that. So, Steenfott, where's the dogs? There's 2 in the room kitty corner and 1 sleeping on the floor behind me on his dog bed. Sounds great. Less filling. Good now. All right. All right. So we're good to go. Crank it to the max. I don't know why I do this every week. I kind of change my setup and it affects everything. So if I would say going forward, I'm not going to change it anymore. So even though I don't like all these monitors all over the place, I'm just going to leave it. Screw it. Good to go. Community fish. So the first thing we're going to talk about is getting rid of community fish for fancy goldfish. I guess you could have a community of goldfish in that tank, so it would still be a community tank, right? I think. There. I think we made it work. Steenfott Aquatics, what is the best carpeting plant in your opinion? My favorite carpeting plant is dwarf chainsword. I was going to say dwarf micro, but that's, there's micro chainsword and there's dwarf chainsword. Micro chainsword is about 2 to 3 inches, and dwarf chainsword is about 5 to 6 inches. And yeah, if that's not too tall, I love dwarf chainsword. It is by far one of my favorite plants, not just for carpeting, but like total overall. It's one of my favorite plants. Fancy goldfish are what I'm considering, but it would be a whole rescape. Right now it's filled with Congo tetras and neon tetras along with SAE and corridoras. That would be a complete do-over for sure. Definitely a do-over. Snail Team 6 says, same reason I'm getting an Oscar again. Dumb, cute, and interactive. Well, I'll give you 2 out of 3. Dumb and interactive. All right. Oh man, my girlfriend just got into fish with a 90-gallon start. That's a great start. Normally people are in that bowl or 5 to 10 gallon range. 90-gallon right off the start. All right. She got so hooked that 2 months after she bought it, a rack with 6 15-gallon tanks. Some of them are leaking, and guess who's got the job of resealing them? 15-gallon tanks are a really fun size, though. I would love to do like a rack of 15-gallon tanks. That I could definitely do. 10-gallon tanks, no good. 15, I can dig a rack of 15s. But that's pretty funny. That's how it goes, man. Just how it goes. It's cool to start off with a 90-gallon, though. You don't normally see that. Ruben says, would Fricata or Luminatus rainbows do okay in a 29-gallon community tank with Harlequin rasboras, tetras, a mono shrimp, and an old turquoise rainbow, temp 77 Fahrenheit, 7.2 pH? You could do Fricata or Luminatus. However, turquoise rainbows are kind of the grumpier of the rainbows. So I don't know that I would go like Luminatus. That may be a bit too small. But it depends on that one specific fish. So you could try it out. I'm sure in a bigger tank it would work, but 29, that's kind of cramped for a turquoise rainbow because they get pretty dang big. Fishy Mailman says, nice, finally made on Monday. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Amanda says, Steenfott Aquatics, 1 betta with 15 chili rasboras and 6 pandagori in a Cory in a 20 long or pea puffer species only. All right, let me do this again. 1 betta, 15 chilies, 6 pandacories, or a pea puffer species only. Boy, I got to go with the rasboras and the Corys. I mean, I know there's a betta in there, but Corys are awesome. Rasboras are awesome. You have more awesome fish than just species only. I mean, pea puffers are awesome fish too, but you only got pea puffers. And I do love pea puffers, but honestly, I feel like people get tired of them very quick. So just keep that in mind. They're cute, they're small, they're cool to look at. But I don't know. I feel like people really get tired of them pretty fast. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I love my Turks. They do get grumpy during feeding time, though. That is true. That is certainly true. Fishy Mom 2381 says, Steenfott Aquatics, do you sell shrimp plants? Oh, do I sell and ship plants, not shrimp? I got shrimp on the brains for something else that I'm working on, though. Probably maybe announce that in the members only stream this week, but You guys will hear about it soon enough. Something to do with the shrimp. Just saying, it's gonna be pretty interesting. But anyways, what was your question? Do I sell and ship plants? Not yet, but I will, and it'll only be clippings. So it's not like I'm gonna have a website or something that's selling plants. I'll just like post it in the community tab or whatever, because I'm gonna have a lot of planted tanks coming up. All right. Jennifer says, I have some Pogostem and Stellatus octopus plants that are getting pulled up and out of my gravel. I have angelfish, neon tetras, and a few platies, albino cories, tubers, and those plecos. Who is the most likely suspect? Depending on the size of your plecos, I'd probably go with them. They're probably not doing it on purpose, but when they're rummaging around the bottom of the tank, they're probably knocking the plants loose. If it actually looks like they're getting ripped and pulled up, then it's probably the angels. And they might be, if you have a pair, they might be getting ready to spawn and trying to clear out an area. But more than likely, I would say it's just the plecos just kind of stirring them up and they're getting loose. The plants are getting loose. Sorry for re-asking. I just know you would be the one who would know, Bob. Okay. Would dwarf rainbows do well out in outside tub ponds during the rest of the spring, summer in tropical climates such as Houston? Yeah. I think you'd have to make sure it doesn't get too hot in Texas. You know, maybe in like, I mean, I don't know when you guys' peak summer season is, July, August. So if they're smaller tubs, then I would definitely be watching, make sure they don't get too hot. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They would do well. Steenfott Aquatics, my electricity is going to be cut for 12 hours tomorrow. Is the bacteria in my canister going to be fine without moving water? It's tough to say. It really is. Bacteria does take up a lot of oxygen. They do need a lot of oxygen to live. I don't know that 12 hours would be enough to kill all of it, but I would definitely keep an eye on your tank when it comes back. Like if it was 24 hours or something like that, then yeah, you'd probably lose it. But that doesn't mean you're going to lose your cycle, because there's still going to be beneficial bacteria in the tank and all over your hardscape and all that jazz. So I just keep an eye on it. I would definitely test it when everything comes back on. Give it a couple hours and then test it. My plants are getting overtaken by algae, and I was wondering if injecting CO2 the ocean aquarium way would help. I don't know what the ocean aquarium way is, but if you're getting too much algae, CO2 is usually not the way to correct it. You have an imbalance. You have an imbalance in your tank, and very rarely is it a lack of CO2 that's causing that imbalance. So my recommendation would be to figure out what kind of algae it is, and then look up what causes that kind of algae. It can really narrow things down for you. Fish Tank Barn with a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says Tip Jar. Enjoyed the rasbora video on Sunday. Thank you, my friend. I love rasboras, and I feel like they should get some more press. So it is a pretty common question I get, even on the on the live streams and stuff. It's like, man, what can I do besides rasboras? And what can I do besides tetras, not rasboras? And it would be rasboras or danios or rainbows and lots of stuff besides tetras. Quick go buy a universal power supply. Yep, I did do a video on universal power supplies once upon a time. By Ocean Aquarium, I meant the upturned plastic bottle filled with CO2. That's definitely not going to solve your algae problems, because there's nothing consistent about plastic bottle CO2 systems, and so it doesn't really allow your aquarium to balance out, and then you're never going to get rid of the algae. So you're looking for the balance. Once your aquarium is balanced, that's when the algae goes away. CO2 in plastic bottles is a nightmare. I never recommend it. Some people swear by it, but I don't know. The DIY CO2 is so irregular, like as far as bubbles per second. They could change after like 6 hours, and I don't know. I actually did do it once, and I'll never do it again. Christine with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. Nothing to say with that $5, so I'll just say thank you. I think Ocean Aquarium uses the Bell diffusers for CO2. Indeed says, I've had a bioactive pond going for about 6 months now, 20,000 gallons. I'm adding Aussie bass and perch and barramundi. Today, is there a way to get them to not eat the Danios and glass shrimp and catfish? No. I mean, if it fits in their mouth, they're going to eat it. And bass are going to eat everything. It's not like you could just say, don't eat those fish. Don't do it, or you're going to be grounded. No, nothing you can do. You could try to keep them as well fed as you can with, pellets or however you're feeding them. But, I mean, you can't feed them enough to make them not eat shrimp and any fish that fit in their mouth, unfortunately. Thanks for seeing KCO. Do different colors. Good evening, y'all. Texas Fish Room. Hello, buddy. Good to see you. What's a good red-colored schooling fish for my rainbow community tank? 55-gallon. James, I'm going to say cherry barbs or ember tetras. I would probably go cherry barbs if you have larger rainbows. If you have smaller rainbows, I would do ember tetras. But cherry barbs, it doesn't get much more red than a cherry barb. So, highly recommend them. Jamie McDonald, the $5 super chat says, my favorite tank has mollies only, 3 to 4 generations. It's so fun. Mollies, and I'm going to lump in platies. When they get into like big giant groups, I'm not much of a molly person, but I will say when you got a lot of them, when you get those 3-4 generations going strong, they're pretty cool to watch. It's pretty cool. To be fair, I mean, giant shoals of any fish is cool, but when you get all that color and they're just super active, so yeah, definitely. Bob, they mean passive CO2, filling up the container with CO2 and having it be underwater. Yep. I mean 200K, so I meant 200,000, so I guess I just need to restock. Well, I mean, I guess technically if the pond is big enough, sure, they could probably, cohabitate. I mean, bass cohabitate with smaller fish in lakes all the time, but there's a ton of room, so yeah, it all just it depends. It depends. And you'd probably, I mean, unless you're actually getting in there and scuba diving around, would you even know? I don't can you see everywhere in there? Killifish Aquatics with the $5 super chat. How's it going? He says, Bob, it is going excellent. Good to see you. Good to see you. I saw the group pic of I guess you guys got together in Tennessee. Super jealous. Do you think ghost shrimp and a mono shrimp together will be okay? Yes. Bob, I saw the video on water changes and I've been seeing how long I can go without a water change. Been 4 weeks and my nitrates are 20. Should I leave it for the plants or water change using liquid ferts? By the way, honestly, I think 10 to 20 parts per million is good. Anything under 20, I wouldn't water change, but at over 20, I would. So you're kind of like right at the line. I would probably water change at 20, but it's not something that would concern me. That water change video. Whew, boy, that video still triggers lots of people. It's great. I love reading the comments. People are like, oh, man, they get so angry. It's great. I love it. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Bob, I just read that one. What size tank for 5 female bettas together? Well, honestly, people do them in like 20-gallon tanks, but I wouldn't do it in anything under 40, to be honest. But that's just me. But there are people that will put 5 female bettas in like a 20 long or 29. I wouldn't try it with anything under a 40. What's the fish that you currently own that you have had the longest? Probably my Mabu puffer. That's not true. It's my bala shark. My poor bala shark. After my bala shark, it is the Mabu puffer. I'm pretty sure. Maybe some fancy plecos that I've had for a really long time, but yeah, I'd have to say bala shark number 1, Mabu puffer number 2. Maybe like a fancy pleco or two before then. Katie Troggles did a pretty funny water change video on Sunday. Yep, I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but I did see the video. But yeah, I just people really, again, maybe I didn't make it clear enough, but I feel like people watch like a quarter of the video and then rage because people are like, you have to do water changes, and I say like I say don't stop doing them completely, just do them when it's needed. I still see it in Facebook groups all the time, like something's wrong in my tank, and people will be like, do a 50% water change, and I'm just like, why? I just saw a comment yesterday, I think, that's like, doing a water change should be your go-to. Anything that's wrong with your tank, you should just automatically do a 50% water change. And I'm blown away by that. Like, you have no idea what's wrong with it, and you're just going to change out 50% of the water when you probably don't need to stress your fish out in the first place. It's like, oh my God, there's something wrong with my car. I better go change out 50% of the gas. Turns out it was a flat tire, but, you know, it could have been bad gas. I don't know. It's just unnecessary water changes do way more harm than good. Way more harm. Mono shrimp are very hungry, so make sure the shrimp have tons of grazing options. Yeah, I mean, I feel like all shrimp, that's all they do. That's all they live for, is just to graze and eat. That's all they do. Wow, that aquarium in the background is stunning. Yep, it's got rasboras, the fish of the week. The fish of the week, rasboras, corridors. I tried the female betta sorority, big fail. Me and my fish couldn't take the stress. They'll have their own 3 gallons each, and I'm going guppies. Yeah, I would highly advise against betta sororities. It takes a really skilled person or a really big tank, or just a really good group of female bettas. Like, raising them together from fry is always like the best thing you could do if you want a betta sorority. But I feel like at some point it always goes bad, unless, you know, you have the big enough tank or you're growing them from fry. Any tips on keeping algae under control? Feed less, but the big, like I said, I mean, I just said this, but I'll answer it again. You have to find out what type of algae it is and what causes that type of algae, and then you can get rid of it. A lot of algae is caused by overfeeding. Overfeeding can cause a few different types of algae, but also if your food is high in phosphate, then that can cause algae. From overfeeding, you know, food's high in phosphate, that's going to cause a different type of algae. So it really helps to like Google different types of algae, you know, look at pictures, find out what type of algae it is, and then how to correct it. And it usually takes months, so just be patient. Unless it's like hair algae. Hair algae is usually always overfeeding, so you can just feed less and rip it all out. Like when I get hair algae, that's like the only algae that I'm really glad to see because it's so easy to correct and remove. Keep the tank away from a big window. Yep, that's, yeah, if you got your tank getting natural sunlight, you're probably going to have algae. What community fish pop with red plants? You got to go like the opposite. What would be the opposite of red? So like blue looks really good with red. Green looks really good with red. So like neon green rasboras, for instance, which was in my video yesterday. I need a new internet provider. It's doing, it's going in and out again. That's nothing. There's nothing quite. Well, there's a lot of things worse than a bad internet service provider, but it is definitely frustrating. What else? I saw a comment here and now I don't see it. Dolbeck Aqua Designs. That's a hello, hello, hello. Well, there was a comment, but I don't see it now, so we're gonna move on. How big is that tank in the window? I believe this is a 90 gallon tank. Matter of fact, I know it's a 90 gallon tank. 90 gallons. I hate hair algae. It gets unmanageable if you don't have enough stuff eating it and you ignore it for too long. I would see. I mean, you could say that about any algae. It gets unmanageable if you leave it alone for too long. Yeah, the nice thing is like, just get, you know, some tweezers or a toothbrush, and you can just swirl it all up and just yank the whole thing out at once. So it's pretty easy to get rid of. What is the quietest aquarium filter? Probably a hang-on back that's turned down quite a bit. You can make sponge filters really quiet if you manage the bubbles, but like a good hang-on back filter for at least the first 6 months of its life would be really, really quiet. Even canister filters are really quiet for a while. So I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question. It's hard to know. I've been getting a blackbeard algae and green algae explosion recently. My water is good and I feed my fish twice a day. Any tips on keeping them under control? Well, you probably don't need to feed your fish twice a day, and that's probably what's causing the algae. If you're feeding your fish that much, that means you need to do more water changes. And yeah, twice a day. I know it's fun to feed your fish. It's fun to watch them. But twice a day is really just too much. Pick your poison: green hair algae or blackbeard algae. I would much rather have hair algae as far as trying to remove it. If we're talking about removal, I would much rather have hair algae. If we're just talking about like algae in general, I would much rather have blackbeard algae because I like the way blackbeard algae looks, and it's somewhat controllable, and you can really make some nice little micro carpets around your aquarium with blackbeard algae. It's pretty neat, I think. They're in the middle of putting a new cable in the area, so hopefully soon it will be fixed and faster. Oh, well, at least they're doing something. When I feed my betta frozen brine shrimp, what do I do with the extra food? Should I put it in my fridge or refreeze? I would toss it. I wouldn't refreeze it or keep it. Are you like putting whole cubes in? I would just like cut the cubes in half or in quarters before taking it back out and refreezing it. Yeah, definitely. I love my aquariums, but want the serenity, not the noise. Yes. Are matin filters that good? Matin filters are quieter than sponge filters. I mean, they take up more space. And in my opinion, they're harder to do maintenance on them. But I guess I would put matin filters as pretty dang quiet. But again, it's going to depend on how much air you're moving through there. So it's basically just like a sponge filter. If you're moving a lot of air, it's going to be noisy. There's going to be bubbles. But what is the best food for needle nose gar, and are they fresh or saltwater? I would highly advise not to get them. That's the only advice I'm going to give. Don't get them. That's all I gotta say. It's all I built for the past 10 years. Matin filters. I do love matin filters. I do love them. I used to use them a lot. Like my 33-gallon long, I had a matin filter on each side, but it's kind of an acquired taste. Like people either love them or they hate the way they look. Yeah. I used internal water pumps in my matin filters, not bubblers. There you go. That's a good way to do it. Fish Room Fever, what's up, buddy? 99-cent super chat. And that reminds me, I gotta check something real quick. We're gonna take a quick timeout. Uh-oh, what'd I do? I gotta come over here real quick. I apologize. I forgot I was going to do this before the stream, but I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, here. I'm going to give this channel a shout out. I don't normally do shout outs, but they are very close to 2,000 subscribers, so I think it'd be pretty cool. So check out that channel. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't subscribe. It's that easy. But really nice people, and just trying to give them a little bump to 2,000 subscribers. So check it out after the stream. If you like it, subscribe, and I'd appreciate it. They're pretty, like I said, pretty fun people. Good for the community. Recommend for larger fish to really showcase in a 40 breeder, have a 40-gallon community tank and want to do something different in the second tank. So you want a larger, well, I guess you'd have to define larger. Like, you can't get large fish in a 40-gallon breeder. So it really depends. Maybe like a gourami. A lot of people do gouramis, but that might be the way to go. But you can't really get that big of fish in a 40-gallon breeder. Air stones are good in general. I have one in all my tanks, and I think they're better for it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with air stones. I mean, they're definitely beneficial to have in your aquarium versus not having them, for sure. Eric Wyrock says Danikin is great. Yeah, they have, probably like 9,000 fish tanks in their house, and they're just really kind of laid back and fun people. So check it out. It'd be cool to get them to 2,000 subscribers, and also, getting my one shout out per year out of the way in May today. So there you go. Don't anyone ask me again till next year. Got a Fluval FX6 on my 75. Not much sound. I will say the Fluval FX6 is pretty quiet as long as you keep it maintained. That's kind of the same with any filter, right? Favorite size aquarium? Oh boy, probably 75, 40, 75, and 125 are my top three. If I could only have one the rest of my life, it would be probably 75. Davo says, just subscribe. Thank you. They live stream on, did they hit 2,000? I don't know. It shows me that they're not at 2,000. So if they did hit it, that's awesome. FX4 on my 75 is silent. Yep. I believe it. Although I've never used the FX4, I have used the FX6. And like I said, as long as you maintain it, they're pretty quiet. Already scribes. Sweet. Yeah, larger than the small community fish in my other tank. Thanks. I mean, you could check out Rainbowfish. There's lots of Rainbowfish that you could do in a 40 breeder that are larger than like tetras and rasboras or I'm not sure what you have in that tank, but check out Rainbowfish. They're pretty awesome. Just hit it. Good job, Bob. Sweet. Question, Bob, for outdoor tubs, do you recommend clear or black airline tubing if you are running sponge filters? Well, my tubs are black, so I prefer black airline tubing just so I don't see them. It's all personal preference. There's not one that's going to perform better than the other. There's no performance issues, so it's all personal preference. I don't like to see it in the tub, so I do black. But I also film my tubs, so it's important for me to not see that kind of stuff. Let's be real, it's not that important, but anything I could do that's that easy, I'll do it. James Stevens with the $1 super chat. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Good to see you. What does Steenfott mean? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. Do you think I could put rock Achilles in a 5-gallon outside with a heater and I'll bring them in the winter? So, Connor, they're actually a cool water species. So depending on where you are in the world, you may or may not even need a heater in the summer. The problem you're going to run into is the temperature swings in a 5-gallon tank are very quick. Very quick. So on a sunny day, if that thing's sitting in the sun, I mean, after like 30 minutes, it's going to be hot. And I think that's going to be the issue you're going to have. Do you think I could put... Oh, I just read that one. I got a friend who has a bunch of generic 10-gallon Petco Aquarium tanks. Do you think I can de-rim the top brace and make half DIY rimless? I hear conflicting info on this. Would I be worried about it? Probably not. I mean, sometimes though the silicone is just awful on those tanks. But I really probably wouldn't be worried about it. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people take the rim off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would be an issue. I would definitely look at the silicone though. Sometimes they go really chintzy on the silicone. So if there's a lot of silicone, probably not an issue. But if it you know, pops open and floods your entire home, not my fault. Bedtime for me because I have to get up at UPS in the morning, blah, 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 blah. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Late, but better than never. It's true. It's true. What would be a nice upgrade from guppies? Well, I mean, I would say rainbowfish, but again, it's all personal preference. Do you want to upgrade to live bears? Like, if that's your thing, maybe go platies or, I don't know, swordtails. I mean, if you're wanting to stick with live bears, that's like the next step up. Mollies. But if you're not looking at, you know, live bears or breeding, then really anything. Really. You can't go wrong with 10-gallon, good for beginners and experienced keepers. Boy, I don't dislike 10-gallon aquariums. I dislike having like 20 of them. It makes water changes such a pain. Hey Bob, I'm in New Zealand and I've got the blue-green we have next to zero meds in this dumb country and I'm struggling. Do you or anyone in the comments have any suggestions? If you're talking about blue-green algae, Erica, all I would do is black out the tank for about 3 to 4 days. So make sure the lights are off, put a blanket or towel, whatever, over the tank so it gets zero light. And that blue-green algae will die really fast. That's what I do. If you have plants, they'll live through it, but the blue-green algae will not. Very simple. Chris says, was the Gazelle T4 worth the price? I am in love with that tent. To me, absolutely, it was worth the price. I tried to get it cheaper. It didn't work. But yeah, the tent is so far like amazing. So yeah, I love it. I'm gonna be using it hopefully, depending on how much work I have to do this week. Maybe next week. Hopefully this week, but if not, definitely next week. I'm gonna go do some camping because it's been too long, and it's supposed to be 70 and sunny all week. So perfect. Kenny driving, he is over the moon. 2007. Woohoo! Woohoo! That's great. Awesome. Congrats. Alex says Dean converted to Hamburg Matin filters, so they must be semi-okay. Seachem Tidal, quiet as Bob. I've ran across self-priming. Yeah, I don't know. I've never used it, but to me, all filters are pretty dang quiet at the start. As long as, you know, your water level's not low and they're not splashing down water and all that stuff. So take all that in consideration. You got the proper water line, everything. Most filters are pretty quiet right off the start. Now, I guess depending on which brand, you know, I would be curious to see which ones are still quiet after a year, but who knows. Michael with the $5 super chat says, could I do Endlers and Shelleys in a 55-gallon tank and have them both breed? Do I need sand for Shelleys? I would highly recommend sand for Shelleys because it makes them way more enjoyable. They're so fun to watch because they constantly rescape the tank. They're constantly building new sand mountains. The males will try to cover other males' shells in sand, and they'll just go back and forth spitting sand on each other all day long. It's super fun. Could you do them with guppies? They can go in the same water. They do like the same water. I would definitely do some type of floating plant for the guppies and the guppy fry to hide in. They'll definitely get picked off by the Shelleys, but I bet it could be done. I bet you could do it. If I leave my betta tank for 10 days, will the fish be fine, or should I put something like live blackworms? 10 days, huh? I bet you could be okay with 10 days with a betta fish. I bet it would be okay. Must be nice, Bob. It's 49 and windy here. We froze at my daughter's softball game. I mean, it has been raining. Where's the Bitcoin, Bob? I don't even know what that means. Like, I'm not handing out Bitcoin. What are you asking? My AquaClear 110 sounds like my dryer is running. I hate AquaClear filters. I feel like I am such in the minority because so many people say the AquaClear hang-on backs are the best. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I've never had one stay quiet. Like, oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. And people are saying, well, take it out and clean out the impeller and blah, blah, blah. It's still loud. I don't care what anyone says. I've probably gone through at least 50 of them in the last, I don't know, since I've been keeping fish. And they always get loud eventually. Always. Freshwater Sea says, yes, I ditched the 110 for just that exact reason. Yeah, they don't self-prime. And the stupid tube like will lift up and down. And I hate them. I hate everything about them. What hang-on back do you like? I hate my AquaClear. My favorite hang-on back is the Aquion. But only when I can get them on sale. Because they self-prime. They're relatively quiet. And they have nice big tubs in them for your own DIY media. So that's what I like them. AquaClear is awful. God, I'm so glad that there's people like me in this stream that think AquaClear is awful. I'm not a fan of Marineland either, but Curtis says, I got 2 Marineland penguin filters for real cheap, and man, are they noisy. Oh, okay, good. Good. Yes, I never use the stupid wheels on the Marinelands, because those will always end up making noise, and they're just gimmicky anyways. I've spent over an hour trying to get the AquaClear started again. I feel ya. I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you like the Tidal? Kyle, I've never used the Tidal. I've never used it. They really are the worst. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They are. I was so glad. I'm probably going to lose like half my AquaClear subscribers, but that's all right. I can't lie. I cannot tell a lie. They're awful. I've heard such nice things about the Tidal. So have I. I mean, everyone, you know, they've been around for a while now. At first, I was like, it's just hype. It's the hype train, the new thing. Maybe one day I'll have to try them, but I don't have a lot of faith in Seachem in general. So, that being said, I've never tried them, so I can't really say if they're good or bad. But everyone seems to like them. I will say that. Joel G with the $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have a Tidal 35 and a 110. So far, they are great. Hang on back. Now, is there a Tidal 110, or are you talking about the AquaClear 110? Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Thanks for bringing that to me. Thank you. Unsub. Just kidding. Just can't click the gray sub button. Every time my power goes out, I have to clean the AquaClear's impeller to get them to run again. I'm telling you, there's always something. Always with those things. Anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on complaining about AquaClear. Joel with another $1 super chat. Thank you. 100. I hate the skimmer on the Tidal. Yeah, it's, to me, like, again, I haven't used it, but I feel like the skimmer is kind of gimmicky, just like the Marineland Bio Wheels. Like, it's not really skimming anything. I mean, come on. It's gimmicky. Admit it. It's gimmicky. Just saying, it's gimmicky. Come on. You got to admit it. My Marineland hang-on back with 2 wheels has been running for years. No complaint. Easy to clean. They, I feel like it's too many parts. I always take the wheels off, but one of my Tidal hang-on back cannot adjust flow anymore. It's going full blast in a molly tank, just full on blast. Pedal to the metal. I run top fin, small hang on backs with small air filters. I've never used the top fin either. Stocking ideas for a 20 long community tank. My favorite thing for a 20 long is a pair of Apistos, and let them breed. Apistos love 20 longs. And then some like Danios or something of a faster fish schooling around on top. I love it. Years, Bob. Years. I had that Magnum, the Magnum canister filter. That thing lasted like 30 years. Like that was a hand-me-down from my dad. So they used to be pretty good. I don't, I feel like there was definitely a time, and we were talking about this at one of my club meetings, where something happened to Marineland. Like they actually figured out the exact year. Like Marineland before this year was like bulletproof, and then after this year it was junk. I don't know. I don't remember what the year was, but Magnum PI. Love that show. Come on, Higgins. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, I should do that for the canister filter. Let's see. Aqua Clear is good to go. No problems. And have about 8 of them running. It's okay, Bob. You're still cool. I mean, we're all cool. We're all cool. We're talking fish on a Monday night. It doesn't get any cooler than that, in my opinion. Jacob says, $2 and a tip for my favorite YouTuber. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how I could be anyone's favorite YouTuber. FishTuber, I could believe, because I'm pretty cool, but YouTuber? I'll take it. I'll take it. Opinion, 2 angels, 3 German blue rams, 10 cardinal tetras, 6 Romanos tetras, 6 auto sinkless, 5 Amano, and a 55. What are you asking? Like my opinion? I think it's a good level, good stocking, good fish, good choice. And yeah, I think the only thing you got to watch out for is if your angels start breeding, they can get kind of angry, but otherwise, looks pretty good. Freshwater Sea says, in general, I prefer a canister, but the Cascade 1000 I used to have was garbage. I'm not much of a canister guy, but you all know that. Zach's Tanks Crazy Aquarium guy. What's going on, buddy? I'm still using a Whisper 60 that I got back in 2001. Still the best hang-on back I've ever owned. Only replaced the rubber seal once in all these years. There's some gems out there. There's some gems. Bob, have you kept pearlweed? I have actually. I got my hat points for pearlweed. Yep. I use lots of Fluval C series hang-on backs. Does anyone else? I have used one that I can remember. I think it was the smallest one. Wait, there's more than fish stuff on YouTube? Yeah. Duh. Smash the like buttons. Yeah, we're about to pop over 300 people. That's pretty amazing. Do you like emerald rainbow fish? Huh. Is there any question? That would be the Glossolepis wanamensis, and they are amazing. The only thing you got to look out for is make sure you don't put them with fin nippers, because they do have the long fins, and they're the ratty long fins. You know, it looks like, for anyone who has hair, it looks like they haven't washed their hair in like a month, and it's sweaty and tangled. That's how their fins look, and I think it's awesome. And they get pretty good size. They'll get like 4.5, 5 inches, maybe a little bit bigger. I would say right around 5 inches. But yeah, yep, they're a bigger rainbow. Most Glossolepis get that 5-inch range. Granted, it might take 6 years, but eventually they'll get there. Yeah, reptile stuff. What? Oh yeah, reptile content. Yeah. Have I ever kept Frontosa? No, because I've never kept a tank large enough for Frontosa. Look at that, 303 people. We made it. Woohoo. If I ever had a tank large enough for Frontosa, I would do Frontosa. What's amazing is Bob only has 2 dislikes. Well, wait till we hit the second hour of the stream where we open it up to all topics, and then I'll get probably 20. Carol Cox with a $5 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. And just a smiley face. All right, I'll take it. Well, are there any rainbows you don't like? I don't think so. I mean, there's definitely rainbows that are not as, colorful or pretty or whatever, but I still think like silverfish look pretty dang cool. So there's not any that I don't like. There's some that I like more, but I like them all, and I would keep them all. Ever watched a noob try to catch a hillstream loach? Every time I sold one on my website, I had to watch myself try to catch them. Hillstream loaches. There's no such thing as an expert hillstream loach catcher. I don't care what Corey says. I don't care what anyone says. There's no such thing. We're all noobs when it comes to catching hillstream loaches. Amanda Jean 165 with a $1.50 super chat. Thank you. Thank you. When are you going back on with Ed and James? Douglas, whenever they invite me. I've never turned down an invite from James. Maybe I have because of like scheduling stuff, but yeah, anytime they'd ask, I would go. Anything I'd put in a 4-gallon rimless tank, the only thing I would do with 5 gallons and under is shrimp. You could do like chili rasboras are really small. There's strawberry rasboras are really small, but I don't enjoy small fish in small tanks. So for me, it would be shrimp only. But again, that's just personal preference. There's definitely small enough fish to go in there. When I move this summer, I'm getting a 75-gallon rainbow tank. That's awesome. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. It's pretty cool. Irian red rainbows have to be one of the most beautiful fish ever. Yep, I agree. What is my favorite aquascaping stone? You might think I'm lame, but river rock, honestly. All the Siri stone and dragon stone. I have 1,000 layer stone. I have all those fancy stones. And it just doesn't look natural to me. Like, just plain old river rock, to me, sounds or looks way better than any of those fancy, $1,000 rocks. They use those rocks in like, natural aquascapes. And I'm like, you don't see those rocks in the wild. Come on now. You see river rock, you see round rocks, limestone, like real rocks. Anyways, that's just my personal opinion. In your opinion, all right, I love saying my opinion. Is a 29 big enough for a turquoise rainbow? No. I've had mine for 5 years and my parents won't let me get a bigger tank, but was wondering about whether or not I should replace it. No. Most rainbows are going to need a 4-foot tank. Turquoise are definitely a bigger rainbow fish. If you look on my channel, I did a species profile on the rainbow or on the turquoise rainbow fish, and there's a massive. I have like a gigantic turquoise rainbow fish, fully grown, and the sucker is like 6 inches. He's huge, and it just a 29 gallon just wouldn't work for him. So they get really big. Always glad to have Bob, and he has always been great about coming. Oh, look at James is still here. He wasn't just sandbagging the first minute. Go watch Primetime Aquatics newest video on getting cheap fancy rocks. There's nothing cheaper than free. I mean, I would say if you want to call them fancy, you just go to like a landscape yard, and it's called Mexican pot rock, which is basically just lava rock, but it looks better. It's super light, which is nice, although wear gloves because it'll slice up your skin for sure. But I've done that. I have a video on it, and oh man, it's probably like 3-4 years old now, and it looks like it could be that expensive, aquascaping stone. So if you want something that looks a little fancy, that's light on the wallet, just look for, it's called Mexican pot rock. Steenfott Aquatics, am I getting those green rasboras with black gravel and... Oh, I am getting those green rasboras with black gravel and mini red Renicii. All right. I guess I would say hopefully you have a black background as well. Rock hunting for fish tanks is great fun. Yep. I did that video in 2017, and we're going to do it again. Either I'm going to try to go this weekend, or if not this weekend, then next weekend we're going to do, Danny and I are going to go out. We're going to hunt for hardscape. I'm always listening. Dragonstone is overrated. I agree. I'm not going to say it's not cool or anything. I mean, those fancy stones, they do look cool, but I just think this river rock looks better in fish tanks. 29 gallon, season 3 years, no fish, only plants, snails, 2 months, nitrates 0, BBS, put BBS 3 days, still 0. Is it cycled? Need it for fry. If it's 3 years old, it's probably cycled. I don't know why it wouldn't be. That would be amazing if it's not cycled. Fish Tank Barn says, I took my kids rock hunting. Lots of fun. Yeah. The nice thing about taking your kids is you can make them carry the rocks. always black backgrounds. Yep. Hey, buddy. See you later. Steenfott Aquatics. I'm proud owner of 8 Kamaka rainbows thanks to Tiffany White. Tiffany White is great. I still have my longfin white cloud minnows I got from her. Yeah, she makes excellent fish. Big shout out, Tiffany White. Freshwater Sea, my rainbow tank has 1 Irian red, 2 Bosemani's, 2 Kamakas, and 1 Axolotls. Always black, something like that. I paint with cheap hobby paint. See, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to the black backgrounds, and I don't use a cheap paint, but I use black. I don't know why. If you have glacial till, you can find plenty of round rocks. Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of rocks where I'm at. Dragonstone seems to always fall apart and leave yellow dust in my black substrate. That's kind of weird. Power outage. Holy smokes. That doesn't sound very fun, but glad you're here. As it was mentioned earlier, better late than never. How do I prep and... Wait, how do I clean and prep the rock you find? I don't. I put it right in my tank. I guess I'll do a little background. I go way up in the mountains. And then I hike. So I drive way up in the mountains. Then I hike another few miles. And it's my favorite spot to get rock and wood. And there's absolutely no contaminants up there. It's in the ice caves, so everything is cold all the time. And anything that lives in that is not going to live in a fish tank. And I've never had an issue, ever. If you were concerned about cleaning your rock, then I would maybe just get hydrogen peroxide and give it a nice wipe with a sponge or something. But I've never had an issue with rock or wood from way up in the mountains, ever. Regina Flange says, I removed all my Dragonstone. I just don't like it. Yep. Dragonstone is good for fry with all the crevices. I do really like 1,000 layer stone, though. 1,000 layer stone, I think, looks pretty cool. My LFS doesn't sell black background, only the tacky ones. It's always the tacky ones, and they look so bad. So bad. I'm using a 10 gallon to grow out super red bristlenose fry. Is a sponge filter enough filtration, or should I add Aqua Clear 30 with an intake sponge? I know many bristlenose breeders that use just sponge filters. Now, the problem is that a 10 gallon is pretty small. So once they get some, depending on how many, like a typical spawn is like 30-ish average, give or take 10. So once they put a little size and weight on them, they're going to be poop machines for a 10 gallon. And I feel like no matter how much filtration you have, you're going to need a bigger tank. How have the workouts been going? I was at the gym for 2 hours today. I'll be at the gym for 2 hours tomorrow. I'll be there for 2 hours on Wednesday. I'll be there for 2 hours on Thursday, and I'll be there for 2 hours on Friday. So, yeah. What would your favorite fish for a 5 gallon other than betta? Again, I wouldn't put fish in a 5-gallon tank. The only thing I would do is shrimp. Like, that's just personal preference. I just don't like small fish tanks in general. And fish just, to me, it's like, yeah, there's fish like chili rasboras that you could put in a 5-gallon. But if you put chili rasboras in a 20-gallon, they are just way happier. So, I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. So the only thing I would do is shrimp, honest. But again, that's just personal preference. I like the black Plasti Dip spray. Yep, that's what I use. That's what I use. I don't know why. I don't know why I just don't spend $1 on a can of black cheap spray paint, but I spend $6 on Plasti Dip for some reason. Order stones from Lowe's. It's about $1 per pound for mountain stones. Interesting. I know they have like little bags of like river rocks. I know you could order stuff. I refer to those tacky backgrounds as the Craigslist special. That makes perfect sense. I can see it. It's always a guy on Craigslist who's selling a 10-gallon tank with a filter and a light and a background for like $150. It's like, and he says large tank for sale, and it's a 10-gallon tank. It's like $150. Ugh. How is the new fish room coming along? Coming along pretty good. I'll be there working all day tomorrow, and hopefully finally finishing up the wiring, and then start painting, and then plumbing, and then air, and then yeah, I guess then it would be shelves. I still don't know what I'm gonna do for shelving. I haven't decided. Still looking into it. Tesla says, Bob, I have a Marineland Emperor Pro 450 on my Planet 55-gallon. The impeller is in the tank, and it's very quiet. It's been on the tank for 1 year, no issues. Love the live stream. Thank you, Tesla, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Wasn't the Emperor 450 the ones that were starting on fire when they first came out? That's good that you've had good luck with it. I could be wrong. But I thought it was the new 450s that were starting on fire. How crazy is that? Oh, that's interesting. I use dark window tint for my backgrounds from Home Depot. Way easier than painting. Interesting. I guess it would depend on like what percentage the tint is. Can you overfeed live baby brine? I mean, I guess technically you could, but they will live in the water for a little bit, so it'd be pretty hard. You know, even when they die, it's not that much waste. But yeah, I mean, technically you could. Technically. Miles says, Bolivian rams over German blue rams, and I couldn't agree more. Both are awesome. Both are cool fish. But I enjoy Bolivian rams more than any type of German blue ram. Do background just let green algae grow in the back? It's free. I've done it. I've tried to do a Blackbeard algae background. Failed miserably. I've tried multiple times and have failed every single time. Fire or built-in heater? I guess. Mismatched socks. I do recognize that name. Mismatched socks. I don't know. For some reason, we were talking about you in my members-only live stream on Thursday. I don't even know why. I couldn't tell you why. And I was like, I don't mismatch socks. I was like, I couldn't remember the name, and I have to put like the avatar. Like I recognize the avatars, not the names. And I was like, so now that I see it, I'm like, oh yeah. But I have no idea why we were talking about you. Someone brought you up though. That sounds really weird, and I apologize, but it was them that were talking about you, not me. Nothing bad, but that was really weird. Have you ever kept killifish? Absolutely. I'm thinking about trying gardener Achilles. I love gardener Achilles. Make sure you have a top. Definitely need a top. Have I ever done a moss background? No. And the reason why is because it would collect so much debris. Like the amount of maintenance it takes to keep a moss background looking good is ridiculous. I tried window tint and was frustrated by all the air bubbles. See, that would be me. That would totally be me. Every time I see like that 94 Honda Civic with tint all the way around, just air bubbled around, I just think, man, it looks like I put that tint on. Every time. Every time. Yeah. Black rams are cool, but I really love Bolivian rams. I really do. Bob, have you done a... Oh, I already read that one. Candy had to pressure Bob telling him about you. I don't even remember why. Like, I don't remember why we were... Oh, well. I'll never remember. My memory is like a goldfish. My avatar is super recognizable. Okay, I lied. Well, to be fair, you are like the only Q. So, it is pretty recognizable. I remember you used to have a spiny eel. Mine is big enough to eat small earthworms now. She swims right up to the top to get it from me. Do you know how long half-banded eels can live? I have no idea. I am far from an eel expert. I've never had spiny eels. I had eels that were undescribed, and I bought a fire eel once and it died within a week. So that's my experience with eels. Kyle Morrison with the $5 super chat says, thanks for answering all our questions. Look at that, Kyle, putting out $5, taking one for the team. Thanks, I appreciate it. I try to get through as many questions as I can, even though most of the time I answer I don't know, but that's still all right. It's so easy. Just use water sprayed on a friggin' credit card to smooth it out the air bubbles. Oh yeah, it's so easy. Gotta be that. But there's always that person. Oh, it's so easy. Gardener Eye and Gold Gardener Eye, best community killies. Yeah, I love Gardener Eyes. I do. Like I said, make sure if there's like a 1/4 inch for them to squeeze out and jump out the top, though, they probably will. Gotta spray it with a lot of water with a touch of soap and an old credit card. There's a technique, but it's super easy. If I can do it, anyone can. I just don't think I have the patience for it. It's like it would take me so long versus just spraying it. Hi Bob, do you buffer your outdoor pond water? I do put crushed coral in my outdoor ponds. Definitely. Yep. Have I ever had an African dwarf frog? No, actually not. Which is weird because I love fish, amphibians, reptiles, but I've never gone the route of African dwarf frogs. It is. I love you guys. Why are some rice fish listed as killifish on most websites? Are they the same? I don't know much about either, but I do hope to have some Madeca rice. I've never seen rice fish listed. Maybe they're in the killifish section because it just makes the most sense to put them there. But I'm not sure. I've never seen it. Do you think I'll have an issue putting a 10-inch dojo in a 75 with an Oscar? I don't have the Oscar yet. I think it could definitely become an issue. It's just one of those things where like it could work for like a year and a half, and for some reason one day the Oscar is like, I'm gonna kill that dojo loach. I don't know why. I'm just gonna do it. So it'd be tough. The touch of soap really helps for the background. I'll try the spray next tank, promise. That's funny. Oh, man. Connor, they're really cool to watch, but don't live long in anything deeper than a foot or so. They have to go up to breathe. They can be really aggressive to each other and smaller fish. Oh, the African dwarf frogs. Yeah, I don't know. They've just they just never appealed to me. Honestly, I don't have any reason why. They don't. They just haven't. What else? Lies is not paint. Not sure if my PFP updated for you, but I got 540 on the hex bar. 540 on the hex bar. I have a torn rotator cuff, so I cannot do a lot, unfortunately. But I don't know. I can still do a fair amount, but it's not worth like trying to do a lot. I will say for every 100 Craigslist specials, there will always be one diamond in the rough, 125 with intact seals and no scratches for $200. If you're diligent, I mean, you will get the deals. When I was in one of my older jobs, like all I did was sit on Craigslist and just like refresh, refresh, refresh. I mean, I would search like every couple hours or so, but still. That's so accurate for Oscar behavior. Just one day, feeling cute might kill it. Yep, it's true. It's so true. Your dog's, oh, now you just ruined it. I actually was a little more strategic with feeding and taking them out today, so that I was trying to like get them to be calm for the live stream, because normally I feed and take them out right before the live stream. And so now they're riled up, you know, they got the food, they took a nice poop outside. That always gets them going. And I can't blame them. I do the same thing. But yeah, so this time, like, I fed them a couple hours earlier. And so now they're just they're coming down from the high. So I'm glad that they're being quiet. I've got Oscars at Severum, which works well. Yeah. I just feel like a dojo loach. I could really see an Oscar like getting mad at a dojo loach. I don't know why. I can just see it. What else? Your dogs are quiet. Corey has a video with some tips on spraying. The best tip I could give you for spray painting the back of your tank is to warm up some water and put the spray paint, like the whole can, in warm water for a little while, and that'll make it like really, really misty instead of like, it'll be way more mist instead of like clumpy. If you're doing Plasti Dip, I guess I should clarify. It really helps with Plasti Dip, getting it warm. I haven't had luck on Craigslist for tanks, but I got a steal 1 year ago in a local forum. 180-gallon acrylic aquarium set up with 30-gallon Aquarium sump for $400. There was someone in Texas who just gave away a 10 or a 12-foot 1,400-gallon tank. He posted in one of the fish groups on Facebook. He's like, I'm done with my tank. I can't do it anymore. Free for the first person to come and picks it up. 12-foot, 1,400 gallons. That's pretty crazy. Anyone ever set up aquaponic tub tanks to grow veggies? I'm hoping to do that this summer. Not real like aquaponics, but I want to do plant beds around my tubs and just, you know, pump out the water onto the sand beds. And see, look at that. I told you jinxed it. Now all 3 dogs are in here bugging me. Local club auctions are pretty neat, but I got outbid 30 minutes before the end. Almost got a full Tropica tools, fertilizer, towels, etc. for $60. BJ would know. BJ was probably the one that brought up mismatched socks. I don't know. Common pleco would be cool with the Oscars. I don't think common plecos are cool at all. So I don't think they're any cooler with anything else. I love dogs. We have 6 dogs, 7 tanks, and 1 cat. Nice. I have 3 dogs and 20 tanks and 0 cats. There you go. I agree that with it. Oh, you agree that it would be risky. Yep. I think a lot of people get lulled into that with Oscars. Like, oh man, it's been a year and they're doing great. And then, like, literally the next day, it's like, oh, everything's dead. Do you train your dogs? Absolutely. Who doesn't? I mean, you got to have trained dogs. Oh, yeah, you can probably see them popping up in the background now. See, they know. They know when we're talking about them. They know. I train them to do all the basics, and then I train them individually. Like my Mastiff will do high fives, the Doberman will do hugs, and my little pit bull mix will do kisses. So they all can do like the basic commands, and then I teach them all different stuff. Where are you looking for that aquarium? Sorry, Bob. Do you train your dogs? Yes. Sorry for what? What? Someone got lucky? What? Crazy people don't train their dogs. I know. I see it all the time at the animal shelter. Every week we get dogs in, and it's just, I feel bad for them. No training, no love. Huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyways, crazy people for sure. Way too many crazy people. Can't train a cat? That's not true. There's definitely some pretty well-trained cats out there. It's probably a bit harder. I've never done it, but my dad has a cat that that's pretty well trained. What kind of Mastiff do you have? They're my favorite breed. He is a mix, and I've never done a DNA test, so I have no plans on doing one because I really don't care. But I grew up with a red Dobie who was trained with police canines, and she was magical. Well, I've actually never seen a Doberman canine. A Doberman police dog. That's interesting. Do you train your Mabu puffer? I mean, I guess technically, because when I slightly tap on the tank, he knows it's feeding time and he'll come rushing over. You can absolutely train a cat. Yep. I mean, they get potty trained, right? That's training. I trained my cat to shake a paw. Yeah, they're absolutely trainable. They're just more grumpy and stubborn, I guess. I put a window planter box over my 75-gallon goldfish community tank. That's actually a great idea. A lot of people do that. I used to do it a long time ago when I only had a few tanks. You just go buy like the cheap planters at, I don't know, wherever you buy your cheap planters at, wherever you're at. And it works pretty good. Dobermans make good service dogs. I can see Dobermans making great any dogs. This dog is insanely smart. Takes up anything real quick. My cat is as trained as any dog. I don't know. I don't know that I could go that far. There's people how to go on bicycle road trips with their cats, so you can definitely train them as well. I don't know. Are they trained, or are they just being tied down into a backpack and forced to go on a road trip? I met a cat once who lived to play fetch with balled up paper. What's the tank size you use for your background, Grant? This tank is a 90-gallon, just your standard 90-gallon tank. It's not my tank, but it is a 90-gallon tank. Oh, what are some good things to include for pea puffer enrichment? I move rocks and plants. Is there a good tank mate, or should he stay solo in his 10-gallon? The best thing you could do for pea puffers is more pea puffers. Bigger tank, more pea puffers. Hat, short shirts, Jessica socks. That sounds really weird, and I don't even want to try to explain that. I just don't. I was complaining to my boss about my cat bugging me while I work, and he said, that's what you get for inviting the devil into your house. Wow. Can we see your dogs? I mean, they kind of roam past the screen every once in a while. Sometimes I show them off at the end of the stream, but that's about it. So fun. He'd bring it back over and over. All right. Well, once again, I have drinking too much water. So hopefully this is turned down and I don't bust your eardrums out. We are back. Much better, much better. I mean, it's good. What? Volume? Volume good. All right. My Jack Russell will ride in a backpack while I ride my bike and loves it. Hey. Hey, come on. Nope, come on. Come on. You're not allowed to be back there. Come here. All right. Come on, buddy. Come here. Come on. Chance, come on. You got yourself back there. You can get yourself out. There you go. Thank you. All right. So I'm getting some shell dwellers, but I have wait. So I'm getting some shell dwellers, but I have the tank set up with barnacles instead of shells. What do you guys think about that? People use barnacles all the time. As long as they're the big, large enough barnacles that the females can actually get in to spawn, then yeah, it's no problem. There used to be someone who made like barnacle backgrounds for shell dwellers. It was pretty neat. It was a neat idea. It didn't look the coolest, but it was kind of cool, I guess. Do live plants reduce nitrates in the aquarium? Yes. Also, ammonia. No candy tonight? Maybe on and off, but I know she's moving next week, so she's super duper busy. Bob, how long till the fish room is done and we get a tour? A long time. A long time. There's still a lot to do. And as far as getting a tour, I mean, it could be, there'll be videos where you can see it, but really, like, all the tanks are going to be planted. So I'm not going to do a tour of like a freshly planted fish room, because it's going to take, months for the plants to grow out. But, we'll do like, there'll be a lot of videos in the fish room, but like a full tour, I'm not going to do like a full real, like get Jimmy over there to work his magic tour until all the tanks are, going for a while and the plants are grown out. Can I keep 3 glow light tetras with 8 cardinal tetras? Will they school together like they're the same species? Probably not, but maybe. They would sporadically school together, but not always. Not always. They definitely prefer to school with their own species. So you might just want to get 3 more, and get 6 of them. It would be better for them. Dolbeck Aqua Design says building material too expensive at the moment for a quick fish room. That's it too. Like, it's a slow process because every trip to Home Depot is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So it's like I'm looking for like used wood. There's a fence building company right down the road that always puts like free lumber out there, and it's like vultures out there now. Like, it used to be like they put it out there and you have like a couple days to go get it. Now you have to be out there as they're unloading it off the truck. It's crazy. Lumber is up 300% here in New York. I wish it was only up 300% here. It's closer to like 900% here in Washington. When's the next Get Outdoor videos coming out? I don't know. I have to decide if I want to make a video of just me camping, or if I wait, it would be a really long time. So I don't know. I don't know that people want to watch a video of just me camping. It wouldn't have Jimmy's magical film making abilities, and it would be probably pretty boring. But I don't know. Need to do something though. So I haven't decided. Like, I'm gonna go camping either this week or next week. I haven't decided if I'm gonna film it. Other than water change, what's the good way to add minerals to the water for plants? Fertilizers. There's all kinds of plant fertilizers out there, or crushed coral. There's certain types of rock like limestone that will add mineral content, mostly calcium, but plants need calcium. So yeah, there's lots of things. I would probably just go with fertilizers though. Will plecos eat green spot algae or BBA? Not generally. Green spot algae is really, really hard algae. It's something like a nearite snail will do green spot algae, but it will take it would take nearite snails forever, depending on how bad your algae is. Susie says, I'm going glamping. Take Jimmy with you to watch you. Just wait. What? Take Jimmy with you to watch just you camping. That's not gonna happen. It would be me and the dogs. It would be me and the dogs. In the middle of the house, renovation. Everything is expensive or out of stock, and on a back order. See, there's been no shortage of wood here at all. Like, there's just like piles and piles and piles of wood. So there's no shortage here. I'm curious if there's shortages anywhere else. Like, there's nothing to really here explain the cost. If there's like shortages other places in the country, then I get it. It's not like toilet paper when you couldn't buy toilet paper. Like, the lumber has never been out of stock. There's a lumber mill like 2 miles up, and their whole area is just stacked like 5 stories high of lumber. It's everywhere. So I don't know. I don't get it. Film a nature walk. Well, I wouldn't be nature walking. I would be camping and relaxing. I would film a hike if I go on a hike for sure. What eats green spot algae? A razor scraper. That's true. In my experience, only neorites have done it. Only neorites. Yeah, the slow motion video with music. A lot of the camping videos, they don't have music or talk. It's just the sounds of nature and them chopping wood and building a fire. But I'm not even artistic enough for that. Panhandle in Florida has a gas shortage right now. Pretty not awesome. Yeah, that sounds terrible. Wood gouging. That's the only thing. They're gouging on wood. I don't care what anyone says. They are price gouging wood for sure. There's no shortage. None. I've had 2 pairs of African dwarf frogs that have each lived about 7 to 8 years. Each pair lived in a 10-gallon with just the 2 of them. I have one in a community tank now. He does okay, but chases at feeding. Yeah, it could be tough. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't get them, or I'm not interested in them. But I don't know. I really have no reason why I've never been interested in those clawed frogs. Kyle says, one of my nearite snails is still alive. I don't know why the other 3 died. I don't know, man. I don't know. They do it because people have to pay it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They know that people are at home. They know, like, they say, like, oh, people are doing a lot of DIY projects. Yeah, that's exactly why they're raising the price, because they know people are home and want to do DIY projects. It's not because there's a shortage or there's some crazy demand. I mean, demand is obviously higher, but not 6, 7, 800, 900% higher. It's stupid. Anyways, I don't want to get too riled up here. What did you search to find driftwood in Lowe's? Just looked and only found aquascaping rocks. I've never seen driftwood at Lowe's. I don't know if you're talking to someone else. I've seen rocks, but never driftwood. Susie says, I'm getting 4 silky chickens in the morning. Ooh, you're going to have... Oh, I was going to say you're going to have them like bluish purple eggs. But those are, I think, the lavender chickens that do those. Hey, come on. I said, you know you can't go back there. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on. Chance, come here. Ooh, you're going to be in trouble. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can't be behind the desk with all the cords, buddy. Come on. You know better than that. You know better than that. Okay. Anyways, if my fish looks really fat from feeding, should I skip a day? Probably. It wouldn't hurt. Definitely wouldn't hurt. Your nature videos with Jimmy's are awesome, man. And Corey there sometimes is a bonus. Maybe you could get a Netflix sponsor eventually with Jimmy filming. I mean, a lot of what Jimmy does is way better. It's definitely way better than what's on Amazon Prime. I don't have Netflix, so I don't really know what goes on over there. I do have Amazon Prime, and the shows they put on Amazon Prime are just awful. I don't even know how people, like, who pays for that? Who greenlights this? It's just awful. It came up as a suggestion after looking at rocks. Try terrarium tools. Interesting. Shauna, boy, you're asking a question that I cannot answer. What plants can you recommend for an axolotl tank? I have Anubias and pothos. Tank is bare bottom, cold, only ambient daylight. You have the only two plants that I would recommend. What I could recommend is there is a channel on YouTube called The Turtle Girl who has a lot of axolotl content, and maybe check that channel out. You might find some hidden gems there. But the only thing I would recommend, I'm not an expert on axolotls by any means. I've never kept them. Would be Anubias and pothos, so, and you already have that. So I used to raise and show silkies. That's interesting. Just like gas and food is very high today. No comments. Everything's gonna get more expensive. You order 2 pieces from like Lowe's. Jimmy is so good at filming. He's good at filming and editing and just envisioning all of it. Anubias and Java Fern do well. Oh yeah, I guess Q, Aquatics and Exotics would know. I always forget about Java Fern because it's always a pain in my rear. Never had good luck with Java Fern. Never. Well, maybe once. Maybe twice. But man, that stuff does not like my water. Thank you, Sue. Oh boy, $20. What up, Bob? Thanks much for your help to 2K. This is Kenny. Easy does it. $20 super chat. Thanks. I'm glad you hit 2K. Glad to help. The Turtle Girl's channel, there she is, but don't click off the stream till the stream is over. Then go check it out. Susie says I have 50 axolotl babies right now, so sorry, Susie. I didn't mean to. Whew, boy. Susie Q is the axolotl expert. I just mess with you. Oh boy. Did I just get in trouble? Somebody just messaged me. Who's messaging me when they know? I only work 2 hours a week. Like, come on. Best thing on Prime. Okay. Barbara's allowed to message me. That's okay then. Oh, and Kenny Easy does it. Message me too. Thank you. I appreciate it. No problem, buddy. Thank you. Java Fern seems to like hard water. Doesn't do well in soft. Yeah. Yep, the only time I've had good luck with Java Fern is in my Lake Tanganyika tanks. They definitely hates my water. It hates it, and I don't like altering my water for fish or plants for that matter. I'm very stubborn when it comes to altering my water. Found it. They even have 25 water test strips for $38. That is insanely expensive. Holy smokes. 25 for $30. Wow. JK and Sons and Funds. Bill says, Bob, will you be doing dirt in your planted tanks? Would like to see what you use. I have done dirted tanks, and if I do, I'll be using Fox Farm ocean forest soil is what I use in my dirted tanks. And my 300-gallon tank, I have been saying I was going to dirt it this whole time, but now I'm going to say I might dirt it because I'm kind of changing my mind. But I'll do at least one dirted tank just for funsies. My Java Fern won't die here in Minnesota. You're doing everything you can to kill it. It just won't die. Your water in Seattle is too soft. Closer to Mount Baker and the water gets harder. Oh, yeah. Well, up in the mountains. Yeah. Well water here is amazing. Well water is really good here. Some don't. Same. Don't alter my water, but my water comes out the tap hard. Yeah. There's nothing. Yeah. Honestly, if plants or fish can't live in my water, then they're just not going to live in my water. Well, not a joke, but I know it wasn't a good deal. Oh, I wasn't even. Yeah, I was like, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I knew you meant it as not a good deal. Yeah, I know. So this is weird. I've been following Steenfott Aquatics for years and just realized it's not on my subscribed list. And I even recognize your name. So this actually happens a lot where YouTube will unsubscribe people. There's got to be, they say or claim that it's a bug, but it's been something that's happened ever since I was on YouTube. Like even Candy was unsubscribed from my channel, and she's a freaking member and a moderator, and YouTube at one point unsubscribed her from my channel. So it's just something YouTube does. I don't know why, but it's very annoying, and they're never going to fix it. Or they're not going to fix it because nothing's broken. It's intended to be that way for some reason. S, yo, what's going on, S? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, my friend. We should check Home Depot for rocks. I know my Home Depot only has like, they have like bags of river rock, but the bags are, I mean, it's probably like 1/8 of a pound. They're so small. Please say organic soil. Okay, there you go. YouTube does that all the time. I don't get it. Yeah, I've had multiple members be unsubscribed from me by YouTube. I'm super curious about dirt tanks, but I feel as if the water would never be clear. Dirt tanks provide some of the clearest water I've ever had. I would not be worried. The only time it's not clear is when you're pulling up like plants and the roots pull up all the dirt. Then obviously it's not clear, but yeah. Bob, you do need to get Jimmy to go to your new fish room. Show the steps and stages it would takes to set one up. It's already too late for that. Would make a great video series. But Jimmy's way too busy to do stuff like that. To come film B-roll for me. And I wouldn't even ask him. I wouldn't ask him. But yeah. It's already too late for most of that stuff, unfortunately. Although, I guess I still have plumbing to do. This allows them to charge whatever they want to places like Lowe's, Home Depot, etc. because the demand is high and the housing industry hasn't slowed down. Yep. I understand. Yeah, I mean, it's the mills that are price gouging. It's not like Home Depot or Lowe's. Love my dirty tank sand top. Yep. Dirty tanks are pretty awesome. But all fish tanks are awesome, so whatever. Tube is not very competent, but they net 15 billion a year. Yeah, it's only like the top or at least the second largest technology company in the world. Jimmy's back on YouTube. Yes, finally. I've been bugging him forever to upload videos, and I was like, it doesn't matter if they're not fish videos, just upload videos. People love it. Anyways, make friends with someone in Sierra Mountains for what? Then you gotta pay shipping, and that's not gonna happen. Ozzy, good evening, fellows. Hope all is well. Wanted to share that I'm in the double digits now. Big 10 tanks, and I wish I had room for more. That's a milestone. When you hit double digits in tanks, that's a good milestone. Oasis 100, big enough for a 17-gallon? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Boss Hog with the $20 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, the Wall Street commodities market manipulating. Yeah, definitely speculation is not helping either. Stupid. I can never get away with it with... Wait, I can never get away with it. Big guys, 12-inch Jaguar with 2 girlfriends would just make a huge mess. Any thoughts on what floating plants for species-only Lethrinops tanks? I'm trying to even think if that would work, or if the Lethrinops would go after the plants. Probably not. I mean, as long as it's not duckweed, I'm okay with any floating plant. I mean, red root floaters are my favorite. If you could find those are my favorite. Otherwise, all floating plants. You know, you could float wisteria or water sprite if you wanted to, if you're looking for something like completely different than your standard floating plant. But yeah, red root floaters, my favorite. When I lived there, I sold the heck out of wood. You can just go and pick it up. Had to hike for it, but I didn't charge much. Interesting. That's weird. Just pulled up Lowe's rocks. It looks like the Dragonstone has sold out already. We sold them all out on the stream today. I should get a commission. Oh, and Boss Hog, thank you for the super chat. If I didn't say thank you, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And just because I say that really fast, it doesn't mean it's not true. I really do appreciate it. Life is good. I was wondering about that. It doesn't need the light. Life is good. Life. Oh, that's actually someone's name. For axolotls, it works great to float hornwort too. Hornwort. There's a lot of plants that floating really don't need that much light because there's so much ambient light towards the top. What are your perfect tank dimensions? Well, I don't know if there's a perfect tank dimensions. I don't know. I don't know if there's a perfect tank. Long, like 8x2x2, 240 gallons. Pretty nice. I bought some red root floaters at my local society swap, but alas, they were rotten. Had to take them out of the tank. That is something that happens with red root floaters quite regularly. They probably like bagged them the night before and they rotted out. Red root floaters rot pretty dang fast. So you got to watch out for that. Or whoever sold them to you were just jerks and did it on purpose. Turtle eats it faster than it propagates. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I agree. I agree. Turtles are definitely going to eat plants faster than they propagate. Am I excited for a duckweed-free fish room? Yes, but I don't have very high hopes that it will stay duckweed-free for very long. I'm actually wondering if I can even transfer all the fish and stuff over without duckweed in the first place. Six by 6x2 would be cool. That's like the only time I would do a cube tank is if it was like super large like that, like 6x6 or 8x8. Perfect tank dimensions 36, 24, 36. Oh wait, that's not tank dimensions. Thanks Snail Team 6. I don't vac the bottom ever. Lots of plants and quarries. I feel like gravel vacuum's overrated, but what do I know? For planted tanks. I spent $7 on red root floaters and got like 2 and they rotted. Yeah, it is hard to get a good source for red root floaters, unfortunately. What dirt do you recommend using? Anything that's organic. I like Fox Farms just because it's all I've ever used. So that's why I like it. I've never tried anything else. A lot of people use Miracle Grow organic. I don't know. I've always had good luck with Fox Farm, so I don't need to try anything else. Wish they still sold the Oceanic 65-gallon 48x18. Great surface area for not too tall. Interesting. Can't you just siphon the duckweed away? Generally curious. Never had duckweed. So the problem is, yes, it's not that hard to remove, which is why I only have it in tanks that have shrimp, because I can't take like a shop vac and just vacuum it out. I can't siphon it out because there's always shrimp hanging on upside down, and I'm not gonna kill shrimp just to remove duckweed. And the amount of time it would take to like look under the duckweed and then try to siphon it out, lose the siphon because you're gonna lose, you're gonna get some air bubbles or shot vac. That's just way too daunting of a task to me. I don't want to do it. I have duckweed in my tank. There's like 2 leaves and it doesn't spread. That's interesting. Any advice for a several-month-old planted tank that gets slight white haze, no ammonia or nitrite, weekly water changes, haze returns within days, canister filter with foam and biomedia? Well, I would ask, one, what's your parameters? What are your water parameters? Do I ever add worm casings or minerals? Well, I believe the Fox Farm comes with worm casings. It's been a few years since I've bought it, but I'm pretty sure that the Fox Farm Ocean Floor, because there's lots of different types of Fox Farm, but they have one line that's called Ocean Forest or Ocean Floor or something, Ocean something. It's not Just because it says ocean, it doesn't mean it's made for fish tanks. But that's just what they called it, and I believe it. I'm pretty sure it has worm casings in it. Fox Farm soil, great stuff. Thousands of indoor growers, can't be wrong. Yeah, Fox Farm, and that's where I buy it from. So they always ask me about my setup, and I'm like, oh, it's about 40-gallon, fish tank, and they're like, what? Huh? They're always confused. It's so funny. I'm having non-CO2 tank plants die regularly. Well, it sounds like you got some figuring to do and figuring out why they're dying. That's not really enough info to give you any type of advice. By the way, in case of the apocalypse or zombie outbreak, duckweed is not only edible, it's very good for you. I've heard a lot of people say the exact opposite. If it wasn't maybe in like a sterile environment, but there's a lot of stuff in a fish tank that can cause a lot of harm if you if you drink it, if you eat it. I don't know. I wouldn't risk it. Of course, if I'm like dying, then I'll risk it, but I got my roaches. I'll just eat my dubia roaches. That's good. That's good enough for me. Also, you can dry the collected duckweed and feed it back to your fish. There's people that do that too, turn it into fish food. Happy Frog doesn't have the perlite. The perlite is super annoying, but usually I try not to mess around with my dirted tanks to pull up the perlite. So you are joking. I'm really tempted to make a duckweed smoothie. Nah, not for me. If you want to try it, have at it, but I do not recommend it. I do not condone it. I'm not responsible if you die from eating duckweed. Because there is the duckweed challenge going around on YouTube, which is ridiculous, and yeah, somebody got sick. So Dan says the only fish that will eat duckweed is goldfish. Now that is not true, my friend. There are many species of rainbow fish that will eat duckweed. One of them being the Goiter River rainbow will eat duckweed. Mabuna, yep, Mabuna, definitely African cichlids. There's probably quite a few African cichlids that would eat duckweed. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever had duckweed in any of my African cichlid tanks, like ever. What would I put in an old school biotope? Undergrabber filter, 10-gallon with easy plants. What's like the old school is the biotope? I'd probably have like some piston air pump that's like bing, 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 making all kinds of noise too. I used to have one. It was pretty funny. Quick aquarium connections with the zebra mollusk issue. Nothing from the aquarium is supposed to be flushed now. That's probably true. Although you shouldn't be flushing stuff from your aquarium anyways, even before the zebra mollusks. My Mbuna love duckweed. Duckweed is incredibly high in protein. Some barbs eat it too. Oh yeah, forgot about barbs. Barbs will definitely chow down on it. I would be okay eating duckweed. That said, I also swallow when I start my siphon. I think you just made everyone throw up in their mouth. Ugh. Oh man. Ugh. I don't even know how to respond to that. Eric Wyrock, I have never kept discus. Nope. Never kept him. Maybe someday. I don't have any current plans though. I feel like every discus tank I've ever seen looks exactly the same. Every single one. It's planted. There's cardinal tetras and there's German blue rams. Every single one. Every single time. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. What's my favorite snail, and do you feed Zoomed banquet blocks? No, I don't. I do not feed Zoomed blocks. My favorite snail is Malaysian trumpet snails. Really good for planted tanks. Sounds, yeah. Yeah, that one even got me to silenced. I think my puppies are eating my duckweed because that's the only tank it's not taking off in. Is the tank with your puppies in it? Do I have any experience with staghorn algae? Yes, like I know what it is, and I know that you can just get rid of it with hydrogen peroxide. I've maybe had it once or twice. Always spit, never swallow. When it comes to siphoning tanks, I would agree with that statement. That would be my advice. I think my puppies are eating my duckweed because that's the only tank that's... It really sounds like you put your puppies in your fish tanks. Just say it. Would mystery snails be okay in the Oscar tank? Ooh. Just think of it... Like, what if your Oscar decides to make one a snack and then the shell gets lodged in its throat because Oscars are stupid? I don't know that that's worth the risk. Mystery snails are cool and all, but I just don't think they're worth the risk. You only want to kill without fish who eats it. Weak blackout. Yep. I think my puppy's okay. I meant guppy fish. That makes way more sense than a puppy fish tank. So your guppies, that wouldn't surprise me. Guppies eating duckweed. All right. What do you guys mean when I do water changes? I drink all the old water. There was also there used to be a YouTuber that's like, how do I tell when it's time to change my water? And he would dip his cup in and drink it. And I'm just like, God. I say used to be a YouTuber. He may used to have been alive too. I don't know. I haven't seen him in years. What do I think about drying out green hair algae and make fish food out of it? I mean, maybe if that's... It doesn't sound like a fun time to me. If that sounds fun to you, then by all means. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. I'd rather just rip it out and throw it away and move on, personally. But you could definitely do it if you wanted to. Definitely. I kind of have one. Just wanted to see if I could get Bob. Oh. I got. You didn't just get Bob. Well played. I got. I think we got a new drink idea for these fish conventions that you guys got in the States. Do we have fish conventions yet? I think they're coming back this year. I think there's something going on in Florida, but I wouldn't be caught dead there, so I don't know. Not Florida, but this just that event. Not sure if this keeps up, but flagfish eat duckweed. Flagfish eat everything. Let's be real. Yes, please don't drink aquarium water. You can catch diseases. Your local microbiologist thanks you. Yep. Do not drink the water. Anyways. Not sure if this came up. Oh, came up. Keep this up. Yeah. Okay. You are one-man show. Much respect to you, Patrick Hardy. I don't really know what that means, but thank you. I appreciate it. One-man show here. One-man show. Although Jimmy's supposed to be coming on for one show at some point. I don't know when, but hopefully soon. What happened to the Rick? Life, wife, kids, job. Just life happened, I think. That's purely speculation, but not really. I know about Giardia, but I didn't know there's actual diseases. Pineapple kale, duckweed smoothie. Ugh. I mean, the duckweed, okay, but pineapple? Ugh. Has anyone seen the Netflix doc Seaspiracies? It's horrifying what's happening to the oceans. Negative. I do not have Netflix. I do not even use someone else's login to watch Netflix. Netflix, never again. Never again, Netflix. Somebody with a microscope show what's in aquarium water and stop this grossness. Grossness. There was someone doing that, and they got like 12 views, so they stopped doing it, and I don't blame them. But it would be fun. I did try to get James on here, but yes, we could not come to terms with a mutual contract, so it didn't work out. Mycobacterium will ruin your day. Only stories vet. Do not see section long story off story. Yep, just stick to steak juice. Seaspiracy was a good doc. Oh man, you guys are just conspiracy theorists. You whack job conspiracy theorist people. Jeez. There's cases of aquarium related pneumonia and much more. Wow. Pneumonia. Paul McCarthy, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have a good night, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. I appreciate it. Hi, guys, from Brazil and had no... Wait. Hi, guys. I'm from Brazil and had no information about ADA substrates here. I buy Colorado sand. I need wash before I put in aquarium. It just depends. So if you don't wash it, it's going to be really dirty, and it's going to take your filters a long time to clean it. So I would probably just give it a quick rinse in like a 5-gallon bucket or something. I have Hulu just so I can rewatch Bob's Burgers over and over and over. I have never seen that show. It may be ruining my fish, so my timekeeping fish may be nearing an end. Wait, what? What? You're going to stop fish keeping? I don't like the sound of that. Joke. And Sun's Fun Builds. Yeah, Seaspiracies was a tough watch. Sun's Fun's Builds? What? I don't get it. I'm totally lost. Anyways, I'm moving on. Red Light Robot. What are the odds of Apistogramma eating their fry? Fairly high the first couple of spawns. The para in a 20-gallon, I can see at least 10 babies. They are well fed. It can take Apistogrammas, you know, sometimes up to 6 spawns before they figure out they're not supposed to eat their babies. Usually doesn't take that long, but sometimes it does take that long. So you can either remove the eggs and hatch them out yourself, or just wait a couple spawns and they'll figure it out eventually. Cichlids in general are very good parents. So once they figure it out, you'll get way better hatch rates. I guess the hatch rates are good either way. They'll just won't eat the fry anymore. Worst thing about fish keeping now is that the big box stores have consolidated fish breeding operations and killed a lot of privately owned places. I don't agree. I'm not sure what you mean. Fish breeding operations. I feel like there's still a lot of those on like a private small sector. I mean, local fish stores are definitely going out of business, but that's their own dumbass fault. You can't really blame Petco for that, because let's be real, Petco and PetSmart have awful fish. And if you can't keep your fish store open competing against those two stores, then you probably shouldn't own a business in the first place. That's just the cold hard facts. What species of cories are on your green screen? Those are Corydoras Adolf Hitleri, Adolphoi. Corydoras Adolf. I'm not breeding them deliberately. They just instantly decided to spawn. That's the best way. That means you are keeping your fish as happy as they can be. My driving teacher, an actual university teacher, that doesn't mean they're a better driver. And waste collects programs and leading the waste collection program in water systems. Second, that it's full of misinformation. Oh, you must be talking about the documentary still. Have you kept redhead tapajos? Only when I was reselling them. I've never kept them as like a hobbyist. People says Bob tells it like it is. I honestly, if you're losing business to Petco and PetSmart and that's why you're going out of business, then you shouldn't own a business. Just saying. Can you tell me if I can keep 6 honey gourami with tetras and mollies? As long as your tank is big enough, absolutely. I have a Substrates female that's been holding for about 3 weeks. How long before she releases the fry? Mike, it'll be any time now. I've never had it go longer than 4 weeks. Usually it's like 21 days average. Never had it go like 28, 30 days. Diver, not driver. Okay, that makes. I'm like, driving instructor. What does that have to do with anything? But okay, I get it now. I get it. You know, we're 2 hours in here. Things just aren't clicking as fast. Alex says, hit the like button on your way out. Definitely. How many likes are we at? Oh, only 200. Boy, I did not say hit the like button enough this stream, but that's all right. We'll get it next time. I worked wholesale and watched the people I ordered from disappear. The overseas places that had really unique types. I'm sure there's lots that goes. There's a lot of things that go into that, not just big box stores. Like all the big box stores don't order from overseas. They order from Florida or California. It would be the importers, not the big box stores. All right, what about the moms attack my turkey baster trying to keep me away? That's usually very protective moms. That's funny. That is funny. Problem is a lot of people don't want to pay for quality. They'd rather buy trash cheap and get to complain about don't make them like they used to. Can't succeed with some luck going in boutique. I don't know. I spent a lot of time in retail, and I gotta disagree on that one too. I think there's a lot of people that pay for quality. I mean, look at Apple. That's not even quality, and people just pay for it because they think they're supposed to. Because guess who stays in business? The other crappy fish stores. Anyways, so many diseases. Amoebic diseases are particularly bad. All right. It's getting a little. I'm getting a little salty. That means I gotta cut this off. I'm getting a little feisty. Trashing local fish stores, so I should probably go. I'm going to pull this over here. And I just want to say thanks for everyone who came out tonight. I appreciate it. It was fun as always. We will be doing another members only stream this Saturday, I believe, Saturday evening. So if you want to come hang out some more, just come on Saturday. Otherwise, we'll be here again on Monday. Thanks again for everyone for coming, especially the moderators and super chatters. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm ending it. Terrible ending, but it's got to end. All good things have to come to an end. Otherwise.